Right, we're cubing again. So what do we have here? We've got a Raphaelos, Prime Time. Kind of awkward that they both go in the same deck. I don't think I want to be heavy green, so I might just take the Prime Time. Glenlind is another option. This guy's got a lot of upside. He's good in reanimator type decks as well. It means we can play all sorts of absurd lands. Right. Let's put a Wasteland, which the Prime Time could fetch. Tanguire, Animate Dead. I do like playing Reanimator. Leaning towards the Wasteland currently. I think it's one of these two. I think I will take the Wasteland. Because I'm pretty much guaranteed to play that with the Prime Time. Skull Clamp, that's pretty late. And Bitter Blossom in the same pack, that's awkward. I think we have to take the Skull Clamp here. Yep. Alright. So if we're going a big mana plan, Avenger's pretty good. I'm a big fan of fetch lands as well. That'll open us up to a fair few other colours. I think it's one of those two. There's quite a lot of ways to go big. Avenger isn't necessarily the best. I might take the Floater Strand here. Alright, so options here are Batterskull and Arbor Elf. Potentially Blade Splicer. But Arbor Elf fits pretty well with Skull Clamp and ramping up to a Titan. I do like Batterskull a lot though. I think I'll take the Skull. We're going to prioritise Mana Elves quite highly now. So I'm going to take this over the Baloth. We're seeing them quite late, and there was one in the first or second pack, so maybe we can table one. There's not a lot else here for us. So we've got the Tracker, that's pretty unexciting. Mystical's okay. Hermit's alright. Hermit's pretty good with Skull Clamp. So I think our choices here are Hermit or Birthing Pod. There's a reasonable chance we're going to end up in a pod type deck. It's got a fair bit of upside. There's a few other things that do this sort of effect. I think I'm going to take the pod here. Speaking of things which do that effect. Let's go Fauna Shaman. Which is pretty good. It can fetch our Prime Time. It gives us a 2 for the pod. But I think this is pretty sweet with pod as well. I think I'm going to take it. And the Skull Clamp. So again, we need a lot of ramp at this point. Signets and... Alright, Edric would fit pretty well in this style of deck. I've got a bit of blue already. Alright. So, Treetop is something that Prime Time can fetch. Other option is opening ourselves up to red. But I think we're probably going to be in those in blue at least. So I'm going to take Treetop here. Right, not a lot here apart from the Elder. Hopefully we'll see a Mana Elf. Right, not likely at this stage. So it goes as a sort of a sideboard card. Don't think we want a Dust Bowl. Like, if we get a... I'll just take Dust Bowl, I guess. So red's pretty open. Should I take Incinerate away from them? Alright, pack 2. We have a Time Walk, a Mox, and a Coalition Relic. Out of them, Time Walk's the most powerful by a fair margin. I think we're going to take it. I wouldn't mind the Knight as well. I think we're probably in green, blue. If we get an opposition, that'd be excellent. But yeah, let's take Time Walk. That Gork would be nice to table as well. It's a Worm Coil and a Thragtusk here. I'm not actually sure which is better. I think probably the Thragtusk. Just because it's cheaper and it gains life against burn decks. Whereas Wormcoil actually has to hit them or block something to gain us life. Probably fits better in the pod chain as well. If you want to put up to a prime time, the Hermit isn't amazing. Yeah, let's take Thraggy. Oh, Recurring Nightmare. So what other choices do we have? Shackles isn't going to be good for us. Vengefine. If it's alright if we get like Survival. It's decent with pod as well, I guess. But I'm just going to take Recurring, that's so powerful. And it fits with our pod theme of come into play effects. Alright. So we have Balance. Possibly not white at this stage. We do have a couple of easy to use white sources. I'm probably going to take a Shriekmaw here though. Yeah, so we need to look for some black fixing. Right. Few choices here. So I think Catacombs is generally better than the Tomb. Because if we get one of these dual lands, if we get a dual land back, it can potentially fetch 3 colours, whereas Overgrown Gem is only ever going to be 2. Phantasmal Image is very powerful though. What are our chances of tabling one of them? Pretty low. Image is good with Recurring Nightmare and Birthing Pod as well. I think I'll take the Image. Probably the wrong pick there. Alright, so we need to take Fixing. I'd like a Slime. Strix is pretty good. Although it's kind of hard to cast in our deck. But I'm just going to take the River here. So Scrubland means our Strand can get blue and black. Overgrown Tomb is just another. And Trinket Mage fetches Skull Clamp. It's also good with Pod and Recurring Nightmare. I guess if we get a second mana effect. I think I'm going to take the Trinket Mage. Alright, what have we got here? It's a bit hard for us to cast. We're not in red currently. Dungeon Geist has potential, but I don't think we're going to be enough blue to be able to cast it. Guess we could take Abrupt Decay against aggro type decks. Right. So I think we can support the Knight, and the Knight gives us a bit of fixing as well. Other option is the Sanctuary. I think Knight's probably better. Knight's both ramp and fixing. So Sculler is a bit hard to cast and not very high vapors, or the Chancery, I guess. We might want to bounce land. I'll take that. Corpse Dance is it's not amazing with Pod. I don't think there's much else here we're taking though. I'm not playing any of these. I guess I'll leave ourselves. That gives us two easy red sources. Sure. I think we're playing either of these, but Willbender is easier to cast. Alright. So we've got Misty, Mind Twist, and Library. And Underground Sea. So I think these are the two most powerful by a long stretch. I love one of these. It's a pretty good pack though, we might be able to table one of them. I think I might take the Library. We have to take Fixing very highly. Is Mind Twist better? No, taking Library. That's another thing we can fetch with the Prime Time, I guess. Although by that stage we'll probably won't have 7 cards in hand. We can get a bounce land and a Library, which increases our hand size, increases the cards in our hand. Alright, so we're just going to take Fixing, I think. This gives us an extra green source from our Flutter's Strand. Sword's pretty good, but I think we need Fixing more. Because this is Ramp and Fixing. Garruk is also Ramp. It's a pretty good pack actually. Maybe we do need Ramp. I think I'll just take Breeding Pool there. Right. I'd like one of these guys, but I think we're just going to take the birds. It's good with Skull Clamp, it's the ramp we need, and it's Fixing as well. I think that's pretty good too. I think there's cards we can table in the last couple of packs. Right, so what does Revlark get? So I think you can get that back with Revlark because it's not a characteristic defining effect. So Revlark gets back a fair bit. Gets back Trinket Mage, Knight, Edric, Phantasmal, these two. It is another 5-drop though, we're pretty high on 5s already. Other options are Preordain and Throwing Glaciers. Or Elspeth, I guess, but that's a bit hard to cast. I think I'm just going to take the Preordain here. We have a Cradle. Cradle and Sorin, I guess, are our options here. Cradle has a lot of upside, but it's also kind of risky. We're looking for a pod chain as well. We basically need 4s and 2s. Someone's a bit hard to cast. Here's a green source which doesn't cast our 1-drops, which is pretty awkward. I think I'll take it still. take the Looter. That can set up our Recurring Nightmare as a 2-drop. Right. I think Wall of Blossoms is our pick here. It's either that or the Geist. But this is easier to cast. And we've got fairly high top end, we just need to get to it. It's also good with, they're both good with Recurring Nightmare. Oh, Trop. Is it Elves or Tropical Island? It's probably actually the Elves here. We already had a breeding pool to get with our Flooded Strand, and this goes better with Skullclamp. Yep. Thrun versus Polychronus. This gives us something to do with our tons of mana. And it's a 4-drop. I guess they're both 4-drops. Yeah, I think Poly's probably better. If we go Sword back, it's not very exciting, but it's also not much in the pack. We're pretty happy around Ranger in this deck. We've got 2 red sources if we want to play Xenagos. But yeah, I probably will play the Ranger. Red Black Table 2. Probably gonna have to cut one of these 5-drops, although Shriekmaw is really a 2. I'm probably more scared of that. Oh! It's one of the least exciting swords, but they're all still pretty good. Got a lot of creatures. I think we can probably get away with the Cradle. Not sure about the Wasteland though. That might be a sideboard. I think we probably have to choose between those two. I also need to think about whether I can fit this in. So I'll play him as pretend he's a 2. That's our Pod Chain. Looks pretty good. I've got Wall of Blossoms, which is a nice 2 to fetch. Trinket or Knight are pretty good 3s. Probably the Trinket normally, just because it has come into play effect. And Range is a pretty good 4. Especially if we've got the Skullclamp off Trinket Mage. So potentially cut Polychronus. It doesn't ever come into play effect for Pod and Recurring Nightmare, but it's sort of, I guess it's sort of a come into play effect. You just need to spend a lot of mana on it. But then again, we might have a lot of mana. Do I want that sword? So what does Revelar get? Gets Trinket Mage, Knight, Edric, Wall Blossoms. None of them are hugely exciting. But I guess they're all just solid guys. So that can just be a forest. I'm not playing that. Breeding Pool's good. Caves is good. Grand River's good. Now do we need to run a Plains? So currently we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 white sources. Yeah, my race is a little sketchy here. We could potentially cut the Plains. We've got 3 white cards and 1. If we cut that, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 sources. currently got 6. The Plains is giving us an extra white, so an extra 2 white sources because of the Flooded Strand. I think that's fine. Black, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we can cut a swamp. I possibly should have taken the Thawing Glaciers. That would have given us a lot more colours. But I think I'm going to submit like this.